We told you that you would be put abreast with some fishing activities carried out in Nigeria to address youth unemployment and to alleviate poverty. The program is Agricultural Prosperity. It continues shortly.
For over 4 decades, Nigeria's economy has heavily depended on crude oil exports. The oil boom of the 1970s led Nigeria to neglect its agricultural and light manufacturing industries. In 2002, oil and gas export account for more than 98% of export earnings and about 83% of government revenue.
Although production in the country is largely based on small-scale operations in most parts, there is a wide consensus that aquaculture has the potentials to meet the growing demand for nutrition, food, fish, contribute to the growth of the economy, and support the sustainable livelihoods of many communities, especially in the rural parts of the country. The Eriwe Fish Cluster at Ijebu-Ode, Ogun State, Nigeria, is one of such places.
The Ijebu Development Initiative on Poverty Reduction, located at Eriwe in Ijebu-Ode, is one of the locations in Nigeria where the youth and people of older age groups have been involved in massive fish production. In fact, the fish-related activities serve as their major means of livelihood.
This farm village was created as a result of city consultation in the year 2000. When the power that be in the town were looking for a way to make sure that poverty is reduced and the crime is also reduced. And then after consultations led by Professor Maboguji at that time, they came up with the policy that if we have a farm where people are assisted, more people will be gainfully employed, then it will reduce crime in the community. That was the beginning of the creation of IDIPR. Most beneficiaries, most stakeholders here are grateful to God and grateful to the people that really bring this program about. Because as of today, we have over 2,000 farmers in this farm village. And each of them have family and they have workers. And it is a kind of multiplying effect. We have a lot of people benefiting from the establishment of this farm village.
Eriwe Fish Farm Village is adjudged to be the world's leading assemblage of fish farmers as a tourist center by the FAO.
And this farm village has been adjudged to be the largest cluster of fish farmers in the whole Africa. And when you have over 2,000 farmers in the farm, and when you look at the multiplying effects, like for example now, I have at least 3 people working for me, feeding my fish, my fish. So when you now multiply it with the number of people like that and the workers, one can reasonably conclude that as of today, the farm village has already met the reason why it was created, because most family benefited from this farm village. The purpose of the union is to look after the welfare of the stakeholders that are in the farm here. So as the president, because we also employ security personnel. So during my tenure, we have about 35 security personnel. And before I came in, we were just about 18. We increased to about 35, and there was no history of theft during my regime. And we also gave them the instrument to use, like the motorbike for them to move around. And assisted also in buying an official car for the office of the president. Every year, we grade the farm village. Don't forget that this farm village is on 156 hectares of land. And we have to continuously grading the road to make it motorable so that the people, the off-takers that come to buy our fish will be able to drive now to the point and buy it. So it is what we do every year. Open up more new roads. The security personnel, we give them uniform. We have some staffs that we call them supervisors, because here, when off-takers come here to come and buy our fish, we have to make sure that they are not cheated, because we want to create a very good image. That when you go there, what is said is said for you is what to buy. So because of that, we employ some people, we call them supervisors. We give them uniform. Even our security, we give them uniform. And we make sure that we also registered this our union with FISON, Fisheries Society of Nigeria. And we got all the information that we need to get that develop fish farming. So we are, and of course, that makes us to make sure that whatever we are doing here is best practice in aquaculture.
To operate within the area where fish farm clusters, some criteria have to be met.
To set up a farm village here, and it has been a very big and wonderful cluster farm that comprises so many farmers, including the fishermen, the poultry and the piggery farmers. And the very land that we are occupying here, thanks to God, is a state government land. There's a very vast land of about 56 hectares of land, and all these farmers are all scattered around on the farm. We have the fishermen, over 1,000 fishermen here. We have about maybe 150 poultry farmers. We have about 50 piggery farmers. So all total to about 1,002 on this very cluster farm. So, and it has been in this system for the past 15 years, if I'm not mistaken. At the inception of every farmers into this very cooperative or into this very formation, you have to go through a training with the Ijebu Development Initiative for Poverty Reduction. They will sell a form out, obtain a form, then you'll be trained, depending on which area you want to function. After that, they now form you. You divide us into groups that very day. After the training, say maybe if you have a fishery, you take number. If you have about 10, the minimum is 10. 20 is the maximum in a group. That's the formation. Then they form into groups like that. The fishery group, the poultry group, the piggery groups, individual like that. They now bring you for practical from the training ground. You come to the farm. If you are for piggery, they take you to the piggery side. You are trained. They show you everything, the practical aspect of it. Then they give you, if you are for fishery, they take you to the pond side. This is the pond. This is how they feed this kind of fish. Then where you can get your fingernails will be introduced. Then if you are not financially buoyant at the section of the program or of the business, they will come to your aid, assist them by giving you loan. The NTA will give you loan, maybe a token fees of about $1 million to start with. That is how you start. In this very area, we have so many groups, because in the section I told you, groups are coming more and more. But you have right now we have over 454 groups as fishermen operating here, cooperative farmers. All these cooperative groups now comes under an umbrella of a union called Farmers Cooperative Union. There's no other business doing together. This is the union that brings them together. They only have different locations. I and you can be in the same union, but they divide the land to us. So we establish on different locations. You have 2 plots, I have a plot, you have 3 plots. So all spread about like that, but we are under one union.
As at now, I have 600 beds, layers, only layers, 600. But if I stock another beds, I have to appoint another person. But as at now, it's only one person. At times, you can sell up to 40 crates. Then at times, now this time around, we are in cloth season, where price of eggs have gone down. But we are selling up to this morning, and I've sold 10 crates, and I can still sell more today. It depends on the customer. The fees are too costly for us, but there's nothing we can do, because if they didn't feed them well, they've not produced well. But at least we are managing. It's profitable if we manage it well. If you are there with the helper, it's manageable.
We divided them to these groups so that for easy monitoring and for them to grow together. In each union or in each group, they have their selected officers. We have the principal officers like the president, the secretary, the treasurer, and then probably, maybe the chief whip in every union, so that we see to the affairs of all these members of the union.
Actually, each pond is owned by individuals, but the ponds are located on a cooperative basis. And what we do here, we establish a cluster kind of farming. And whenever the cooperative groups are being formed, they apply to the Office of Ijebu Development Initiative on Poverty Reduction, and we allocate the land to them on that cooperative basis, based on the amount of people that we have on the cooperative, a minimum of 10 and maximum of 20. So we give each person a plot of land which can comfortably house 2 earthen ponds. So immediately they have the land, like let's say a cooperative group of like 13 people, we give them 13 plots of land, and each person has a plot of land on which he or she can dig or can create 2 ponds. So these ponds are owned by people settled in a cluster cooperative format. To be precise, it started in the year 2001. The area where Farm Village started in the year 2001 or thereabout. The farm sits on 156 hectares of land, which was leased to us by the Ogun State government. It was done in tranches. The first time it was 50 hectares. But I believe when they saw what we were able to do with the 50 hectares, they later on leased the remaining 50 hectares again. Then later on, they just leased the old 156 hectares on which we pay leasehold every year.
The fish pond, where harvest of mature catfish is ongoing, would have been a beehive of activities. But for the cloudy weather, the fishes are being sorted out according to sizes, to be sold out to buyers who come from different parts of the country.
We've been able to produce around 2,000 metric tons per year. And in the past 4 years, like I've said, the monetary value of the output of Everywhere Farm Village hovers around 1 billion and 1.2 billion naira annually of catfish.
Ijebu Development Initiative on Poverty Reduction has enjoyed a huge degree of partnership with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, which is evident in some of the facilities captured.
We have a very, very productive partnership with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. Sometime in 2016, we had the Honorable Minister of Agric with the Presidential Task Force team on agriculture and productions, I think. led by the Kebbi State Governor, that is His Excellency Governor, I think, Isaba Gudu. So with the CBN Governor and the like. So they were here, and recently, August 6, 2018, we had the privilege of hosting the Honorable Minister of State for Agriculture, Senator Enekin Lokobri. So it shows that we have a very, very good relationship, a productive one, I can say, with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. We have a modern feed mill, a cold room, a fish processing center, and a fish market, which are all these projects I just mentioned are federal government assisted projects. And apart from that, we get farm inputs also at highly subsidized rates. They've supplied beehives for our beekeepers. We've had water pumps at subsidized rates also for our farmers and the like. So we've had this very, very productive relationship with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development.
Oh, we are in one of the feed mill being donated by the federal government, and it will be put in use very soon, maybe in a week's time. And if you can look around, you see that the instruments, the engines or the equipments are already fixed. They are ready to be put in place, and the workers are already around to start using the feed mill.
The school feeding program is another initiative of the Buhari-led administration. Interestingly, we discovered a link between the program and the Eriwe fish farm clusters, or the fish processing unit of the farm.
Since the inception of the homegrown school feeding program, we have been getting our fish from the Eriwe farm village, and that has been the major source of supply for the fish that we use in the homegrown school feeding program in Ogun State. Fortunately, in Eriwe farm village, we have large cluster of fish farmers where large quantities of fish are being produced, and we have access to good quality fish to process. And we process here the fish that we use for the homegrown school feeding program is the flesh. We fillet the fish. So the fish head and the bones, as you can see, is the one we use back in fish feed production. And that's why we are here today, to get some of the feed to the store and get some of the fish head to the feed mill for feed processing.
For over 4 decades, Nigeria's economy has heavily depended on crude oil exports. The oil boom of the 1970s led Nigeria to neglect its agricultural and light manufacturing industries. In 2002, oil and gas export account for more than 98% of export earnings and about 83% of government revenue.
We were the IDIP and feed me manager. At a very young stage, when they are fingerlings, they are supposed to take imported floating fish. But when they are ready, maybe after 2 months, they are ready for local. The stakeholder or the farmer will come here and will begin the local fish. We have 2 mm, 4 mm, and 6 mm. Basically, at early stage, a customer comes here for 2 mm when the fish are ready to take local. come sell for 2 mm, and it's either the customer come with his or her formula, or he asks us to formulate one for her. So if he comes with a formula, we'll do for him or her. But if the person wants us to really, because we know at that early stage, the fish should be proteinous, highly in protein.
I hope you found the package and of course the series in its entirety informative. That is, if you've been following the program. Next week, we shall be focusing on another area which the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development is harnessing towards making agriculture the key driver of Nigeria's economy. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye now.